Efficiency. When you hear that word and you're talking about basketball, what is usually the first metric that pops up into your head? Now for me, I usually hear most people say field goal percentage. And at first glance, that metric would seem like a perfect way to measure a player's efficiency. It's the total shots made divided by the total of shots taken, and there you have it. That is a player's efficiency. But is that really an accurate measure of a player's true efficiency in basketball? Can we really use that metric as a correct way to measure how efficiently a player scores? Well, to give you guys a better idea, here's an example of a hypothetical situation. Player A did not take any free throws and scored 30 points in one game and went 15 for 30 from the field, which is 50%. Player B also did not shoot any free throws and scored 30 points and went 10 for 30 from the field, which is 33%. Now at first glance, you'll probably say that player A was more efficient in that game than player B was. Why? Well, because 50% from the field is better than 33%. But there's a problem with that logic, because both players took 30 shots total and they both have the same amount of points. And how is this possible? Simple. Player A only took 2-point shots, while player B only took 3-point shots. Since they both have the same amount of points with the same amount of shots taken, they are equally as efficient, even though there's a huge difference between their field goal percentages. The reason why player B was able to score the same amount of points as player A and less field goals made is because he took more 3-point shots. Case in point being, the more threes a player takes, the more points per possession he can score. But everything considered, this is how field goal percentage can be misleading. If you still don't see what I mean, here's a real-life example. James Harden's field goal percentage in this past 2019 season was 44.2%. Let's compare him to Chris Middleton, who had an almost identical field goal percentage of 44.1% in 2019. Now, if field goal percentage was the correct way of measuring efficiency, both players would rank similarly in other efficiency-related metrics. But if we look at true shooting percentage, for example, James Harden is 19th in the league at 61%, yet Chris Middleton is way down the list at 79th in the league at 56%. Their field goal percentages are similar, so why are their true shooting percentages so far apart? Well, it's because James Harden takes more free throws and threes than Chris Middleton does, and he shoots a higher percentage on his free throws. Here's another hypothetical situation to better illustrate how free throws play into the mix as well as threes do. Player A scores 16 points, shoots 5 for 10 from the field, only on 2-pointers, and makes 6 of 10 of his free throws. Player B, on the other hand, also scores 16 points and goes 5 for 10 from the field, but shoots 10 of 10 in free throws. Player A has 16 points in 15 possessions, yet player B has 20 points in also 15 possessions, and yet their field goal percentages are still the same, 50%. And one player has 4 more points than the other. So with all these examples and stats, we can clearly see that field goal percentage can be a very misleading and inaccurate metric in the context of truly judging a player's efficiency. If you saw my KD versus Kawhi comparison video, you saw that some players may score many points, yet take more shots a night than someone who scored the same or more points as they did. So what can we conclude from this video? Well, certainly that field goal percentage is simply not an accurate way of measuring a player's true efficiency. If someone has a below average field goal percentage, don't immediately write them off thinking that they're not efficient. Even though James Harden's field goal percentage was 2% below the league average of 46%, he was still top 20 efficiency-wise in the league last year. So case in point being, don't use field goal percentage when looking at efficiency for players. This has been Deluxe Gamer here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.